Now, for more on Myanmar's economy, I'm joined by Erin Murphy, founder and principal of Inle Advisory Group, a firm focused on development opportunities in Myanmar. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So as we heard there, President Obama says he is prepared to relax sanctions after monitoring the country's progress, though we're not sure exactly to what degree. So how could lifting sanctions impact Myanmar's economy?
It could have a significant impact. The bulk of what President Obama has announced today is to really kickstart the Myanmar economy and develop it to go from the least developed country in the world to at least an emerging market to one that's going to grow rapidly. Two of the major portions of what President Obama announced today was the termination of IEPA, or the national emergency. The most important aspect of that is the removal of the Specially Designated Nationals List, or the SDN list, which includes 100 individuals and entities that control wide swaths of the Myanmar economy. What that does is help remove the stigma of investing in a reputationally difficult country, but also opens up opportunities for U.S. investors or any multinational company with U.S. interests to engage with these former SDN-listed companies and entities. The other item that President Obama announced was awarding GSP privileges, which should, as was mentioned previously in this program, open new market opportunities for Myanmar businesses and hopefully create jobs for Myanmar individuals. I would note, however, that even though there was the intent to award GSP, which will be granted on November 13th, the termination of the national emergency is not in effect quite yet. So it may take a month or two. So don't start investing with the SDNs quite yet.
Now, Erin, speaking of some of those opportunities that you mentioned, which industries in Myanmar do you think could see the most impact?
Well, I think the IT and telecom industries, real estate and construction, infrastructure certainly, and the medical sectors will require a lot of investment and a lot of improvement. There's great opportunities there. Additionally, there's consumer goods, there's transportation networks, and power generation is going to be a real key industry for investors to engage in.
Now, we've seen quite a few changes to Myanmar's economy. How would you say it's really changed over the last 5 to 10 years?
Certainly the biggest changes have happened in the last 5 years. The former Thein Sein administration put forth legislation that allowed foreign investors to begin engaging in the economy and open up sectors that were once off limits. But it's been an amazing change in the last few years. You have mobile technology and cell phones. Even 5 years ago, a SIM card cost $1,500 and a mobile headset cost $3,000. Now those prices have been significantly slashed, and it's opened up amazing opportunities for the Myanmar people, but also for tourists and foreign investors looking to engage in that market. Additionally, ATMs were non-existent a few years ago, and not only can you go to an ATM and actually withdraw money, but you can use credit cards. Visa and MasterCard were some of the first companies to go in there, and hotels and airlines began accepting credit cards. There's only more opportunities to happen. I'm sure the next 5 years are going to see amazing growth.
Now, Erin, how would you say, in terms of its actual geographic location, how much of a role does that play into its investment prospects going forward?
Myanmar is probably in the most strategic location. It bridges Northeast Asia and South Asia, and it's between 3 billion people when you think about it. It's right smack in the middle between India and China, and two huge economies. Myanmar is not only geostrategically located for great transportation networks, including ports, airports, roads. You have One Belt, One Road, you have the East-West corridor, and you have a lot of global economic powers looking to Myanmar to be part of their broader economic strategy.
And Erin, speaking of those economic powers, let's look at Myanmar. In terms of its advantageous situation, it's trying to court business both from China and the US. How do you see that working out?
I think for Myanmar, whatever they're looking for is the best of the best, and certainly they'll have the cream of the crop to select from. Essentially, they'll be pro-Myanmar, and whatever businesses they're looking to court are going to have to now adhere to what the Myanmar government wants, not necessarily what U.S. restrictions dictate. China is Myanmar's largest economic partner and will continue to be so in the short to medium term, not only because it's its neighbor, but because China has some of the most major and largest projects going on in Myanmar. What the new government is going to be looking for, however, and this goes across the board, is for companies to be transparent and to certainly support their anti-corruption agenda.
And just quickly, Erin, we saw that the World Bank really does have an optimistic view when it comes to the country's growth from 2016 to 2017, looking at growth of about 7.8%. What do you think is making Myanmar so resilient?
Myanmar has everything. It has everything under the ground. Every natural resource you can think of it has: timber, oil and gas, precious stones, minerals. That geostrategic location is another plus for Myanmar. It really can be. At one point, it was actually a major hub for airlines, including Air France and KLM. It also has a large working age population that can be put to work almost immediately. And it has so many industries that could really gear up quite quickly once the right investors are in there.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. We'll have to leave you there. Erin Murphy of Inle Advisory Group, thank you for joining us.